Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, Crystal G. Mohr, and myself will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. What's happening tonight?
You call me Crystal G. Mohr.
Christopher and I just
Did I
got
call you
married.
Crystal G. Mohr?
Yeah.
Crystal G. Mohr.
Yeah, so evidently that is. I didn't realize my name was changing, but
I am so happy I did that.
Your stripper stage name has been revealed.
Yes.
well, there you go. Welcome to the stage.
There's a different
Crystal
side.
G-string Mohr.
Award-winning stripper,
Yes.
Crystal G. Mohr.
Oh, there's
Crystal
a whole
G-string
different
Mohr.
slide. Whole different slide.
yeah.
Crystal G-string. That's going to be
More-
my stripper name.
There
More
you go.
cheeky than you ever
It's your new
realized.
cosplay.
Coming to Pure Gold next week. Crystal G-string Mohr.
Yes. Listen to him perform the thong song. All right. Well, tonight
Oh my gosh.
we are going to review WARHUNT, a totally different type of film than
Oh yeah.
the scenario you are experiencing at this moment, the train wreck that is in front of you. But what we're going to do is we're going to review the film. We'll get into that in a second. Let me introduce the crew. Holy crap, Ola. Starting off with Crystal G. Mohr. Crystal Cleveland. The living dead girl.
I
How
don't
you
even
doing?
know what to say. I'm good. I don't even know what to say. I was like, oh, Christopher and I guess just got married, but that's not my middle name. But that's cool. I mean,
I just shoved it together. I don't know what that would end up being.
I hope
but
your
it's
husband's
kinda
okay with that.
you know, he doesn't care.
But he might when the lights go out. All right, let's
wow.
introduce award-winning filmmaker Christopher.
Oh my
G. Mohr. How you
god!
doing?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Christopher.
Doc,
Christopher G.
We're
Mohr.
cutting you off. You're cut off from the bar. No more
drinking,
alcohol
No more
for
drinking
you
before showtime.
tonight.
Oh man.
We're getting you an Uber.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh!
no more
I'm
mojitos
doing
for me.
okay. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing just dandy. All right, rounding out the crew is of course the one and only Dave Dreher. How you doing?
Oh, you get my name right, so that's good.
Absolutely.
Yes. I'm well. Let's talk about some World War II horror. Come on, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to start off giving our first impressions. That will be spoiler free, and then we'll dive into a discussion in there where we'll get into spoilers and talk about events inside. So if you haven't seen the movie, beware. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And of course, if we hope you enjoy not only this review but many others on the site, so check them out. And if you want to help us out, it's easy and free to do. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, share with a friend, and we will be so happy. We'll smile. And then, of course, leave us some comments. We really want to hear your comments. And we've been getting great comments, by the way, folks.
Oh, have
Thank
we?
you. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you all so very much. All right, let's dive into the movie. It's called WARHUNT from Saban Films, and it's available in theaters on video demand and digital starting January 21st, 2021. It's directed by Mohr Borelli. How's that?
Not bad, actually.
All right.
I'm impressed.
Written by Mr. Borelli or Mrs. Borelli. I really don't know. And also Reggie, oh my gosh. Kiyohara III and Scott Zvatos.
No.
Did you guys do this on purpose? I'm sure you did. All right. The cast includes, it's not limited to Mickey Rourke, Jackson Rathbone, and Robert Knepper, who I know as Teabag, but that's weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that. All right, a synopsis is a U.S. Army plane flies over Germany's Black Forest in 1945. It's suddenly enveloped by a swarm of crow feathers. As the aircraft plummets toward the ground, the airmen glimpse the feathers converging to a form of mysterious woman in black.
That is a really sucky synopsis.
That synopsis
That is
Kinda-
a bad synopsis.
kind of blows because that happens in the first 2 seconds. If at all.
I
At least
didn't
more
even
mystery.
realize they were crow feathers until like 2/3 of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
That
Some,
black mass that just kept moving around. I did not know those were crow feathers.
no, not until they actually held them. All right. Well, let's dive into this one, shall we? This is going to be interesting. Like you said, it's a horror film set during World War II. So, Christopher G. Mohr, sir, you're up first. What was your first impression of WARHUNT?
I was kind of interested to see. I'm a big fan of what's it, Overlord, that came out a few years ago, and I think we need more horror films that are, take place in different, like, war time or different types of periods, and so I was kind of interested to see where this goes. I really didn't know much about it. I'd never even seen a trailer for it, so I watched it going into it pretty blind, other than knowing like a few people that are associated with it. And I really love this. I mean, it's really shot really well. It's got some really good, actually, like, some good practical war stuff in it. We watched something recently that had some really crappy war action stuff, which shall not be named. But this, I think, that it did a really great job. It definitely has those type of characters you see in war type movies. It has an interesting sort of supernatural angle with these weird, like, witches. I mean, granted, some of the flowy black stuff is definitely very CGI oriented, but I think when it comes to the crows and other things, that works really well. And I mean, I was really surprised by this. I mean, there are a few times where motivation is kind of weird, and I think the one main strike against it may be Mickey Rourke, who if this ever won an Oscar for special effects, it
might be his face. Oh my God!
Literally the whole time I'm like, is it somebody wearing a silicone mask of Mickey Rourke, or is it Mickey Rourke? And he just looked like, I will say it, he looked like somebody got cut from the Dick Tracy movie. He's just, his face is so, I don't know. His hairline was kind of weird.
It had glue on it.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was pasted back or something.
Yeah, and then he had this weird outfit that made me feel like Mickey Rourke came on set and like, I'm gonna wear this outfit, and I'm gonna wear this shiny eye patch, and I'm gonna have a cane because I'm gonna be this cool that no general anybody in any army would wear. So I think that was the weird thing that felt like out of place, and maybe that was them. Okay, this is a bigger name, but I don't know. I was kind of interested to see where the story was going, and some of the weird things that happen and stuff. Because it has a little bit of body horror stuff in it. It has a little bit of almost it's not vampirism, but there's a good amount of blood happens. So, so I think some of the practical stuff looked really cool, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I was really kind of interested by the end, and even I think it was kind of dark in the very ending with some of the fight stuff, which I kind of wish they'd done a better job of lighting. But I think it's still the way everything played out, and the witches I thought were kind of cool. They're all individual in their looks. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I thought it was I was really surprised the level of quality with the production and cinematography. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right, Crystal, you're up next. What was your first impression of WARHUNT?
So I agree with Christopher, as I tend to do. I kind of hate that we always agree, because I kind of like when we disagree. But I totally agree with him. Like, I really kind of went into this thinking, it's probably not going to be great. But I love the cinema. Some of the cinematography is downright gorgeous. Like, there's lots of nice haze and lots of nice low light shots that they got lit really well. I was really impressed. There's some amazing gore that I really, really, really dug and was really happy about. And the story, I didn't know what it was going to be about, and I was so thrilled that it was about witches. And I completely agree with Christopher here too. They totally read as like vampires' brides, like Dracula's brides. Mm-hmm. Like, and each one, is a little bit different, but they're very sexy and sultry, and instead of exploding into bats, they explode into crows, which is totally like a vampire thing to me. I thought the acting was great from everyone. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. It was like, I mean, I have nothing bad. I'm trying to think of if I can come up with something. I even like the end. It was like a little. They do have a twist at the end. I shouldn't give any. I won't give that away. But there's a little twist, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm okay with that. You know, like sometimes I get turned off. No, I thought the choices were good. I thought that yeah. I don't know. I liked it. I didn't feel like anyone, you know, was doing odd things as a character. I don't know. I liked it. I don't know. All I want to say is I like it. I like it. That's it. And that's annoying. So, yeah, it was good.
All right. Dave.
Yes, Doc, what do you want?
Your first impression of Warhunts?
Oh, okay. I kind of a weird experience with this movie because I actually started watching it last night in an attempt to stay awake for a late H&R recording, which I failed to stay awake for because this movie bored the shit out of me. And I had to come back to it today to finish watching it. So when I came back to watch it today, I started up where I thought I kind of left off at, and it was freaking great. I mean, the last half of this movie was fantastic. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch it in one sitting again to to get the true thing. But yeah, about the 50-minute mark so in this thing, it really takes off and becomes a kind of a really good supernatural horror tale. It really does. I really enjoyed it from that point on, and I have a feeling, again, if I watch it now complete, I'm going to find it all because I really did think the war stuff at the beginning was very well done. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't anything much horror happening, or at least supernatural horror. I mean, I guess war itself is horrible enough, but there wasn't any, it was just these guys wandering around the woods. But I thought there was some really great gags in this, some great gore gags. I love the fact that it turned out to be witches. The only thing that really kind of seemed shoehorned in was the Mickey Rourke character. Oh, man, it really seemed like a lot of his stuff they just filmed separately off in a room somewhere. So. Yeah. And every now and then the guy would go, "We better call the general," and then Mickey Rourke would be there and he would talk, except for the end, because at the end he's kind of there in the finale.
And he's at the beginning too. So
yeah, I think he was actually there for a couple days of shooting, but a lot of it just seemed very forced. He didn't need to be there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But Robert Knepper, whatever his name is, I know the guy from Homeland. He was in Homeland, but I thought he was great in it. He was really good in this as the sergeant that goes a little bonkers.
Yeah, I still remember him from Prison Break.
Yeah, Prison Break 2 as well. He's really good. If you've never seen him in Homeland, check it out in there because he was fantastic in that Homeland. As well. But he was really good at this. He was authoritative and menacing, and then just downright creepy towards the end of the movie. So I'm with Christopher. I end up coming out of this one really digging it quite a bit.
Okay. I'm more with Dave, like on Monday night, and
like Monday night trying to stay awake, Dave.
I did not like this movie. It did not appeal to me. I was interested in some of the ideas, but its movie failed to draw me into it, even when the shit hit the fan later on. But and I thought what you guys are talking about with Mickey Rourke, I thought that was ridiculous, but and because he was so out of place, and like his eye patch, didn't it glow? Or
it was shiny. It was shiny,
right?
It was like metal.
I was like, oh, come on.
I mean, what a weird career he's had, isn't he? I mean, he goes from the wrestler and being an Iron Man 2 to doing this.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, I've heard things. So I didn't really like the crew. There were some motivations in there that just felt hollow to me and weird. And I don't know. The movie lost me well before it got into the part that Dave's talking about. I was already. It would have had to really ramp it up to get me in, and it tried. I just didn't like it. It didn't connect.
Yeah.
Even the hidden windmill. Come on, there was a hidden windmill.
Well, the windmill was a whole Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it especially when
they're
it comes on
bringing
fire.
life.
And
Yeah,
stuff,
burn on fire.
Well,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's a place where they're trying to create life in the same way Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So I tell you, there's like 2 scenes in this. I actually, my jaw dropped because I was like, I'm not expecting a shot this beautiful in this independent. There's a shot involving blood in that tree.
Yeah, the Tree of Life where they use
beautiful.
it to put
And there's a scene where he leaves the building on fire.
Yeah, I
that's like
that,
a painting. And I'm like, this film should not have shots this beautiful in it.
I agree.
And I give it props because, I mean, you know, the first part of it, like Dave said, it feels like a normal war film. And even I was kind of worrying, oh gosh, well, it's just going to be these weird women that turn into the smoke from Lost, the smoke monster from Lost. And I was like, oh, if it's going to be this, I'm not sure I'm going to be into this. But then when those witches come out, and there's one of the witches kind of reminds me of Angela from Night of the Demons.
Oh, nice.
But you have those 3 witches, which are all like have their own little sort of outfits and stuff. And then you have like almost like them, you know, where they would cut the necks and they would hold like the thing and the blood. I mean, there's some really cool. And then the production design in that windmill, I think, is
it's
amazing. I mean, it's on the level of a big blockbuster film, in my opinion. So I don't know. I was actually surprised by the end of it because this film should not. I was expecting something just more on the indie level, you know, of it showing its seams, but this had more production value than what it deserved. And I think the only thing that kind of pulled me off is Mickey Rourke, but then I just made me laugh because I feel like he shows up, he's like, this is my outfit, this is what I'm gonna wear, this is my character, you're not gonna tell me how to act. And I appreciate that because he knows they're gonna pay him a few bucks.
Yeah. I've heard interviews where he's actually done exactly what you said.
Oh, well, no, I have too.
Oh,
so
he probably did
that's
that
why.
then. Yeah,
that's when
why
he
not?
showed up and he's got this wacky outfit that looks like a reject from GI Joe. I'm like,
oh my god!
He looked like a GI Joe character from the '80s.
Yeah, he does.
And I just laughed because I was like, I know what he's doing, and then like later on, there's a part where he's all wrapped up, and I was like, you know, he's not inside that outfit. So I don't know. I think he's the only thing that kind of pulled me out of it. And some of the special effects involving the black wispy smoke thing is like kind of 90s, mummy 90s type
CGI
stuff.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a couple of parts where the use of like the crows and stuff where they're flying and stuff. There's even a part where they're flying through inside the window. I mean, there's some really cool visual effects I think that really work for me. So I was pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting all that stuff. That's like, you know, opening a Twinkie container. It's got a steak inside. I was like, whoa!
I feel the same way.
I guess maybe my expectations were kind of
low,
bigger because going into it, I thought it was going to be some cheesy thing. Because I was like, this isn't going to be as good as Overlord. I don't feel it is, but I think it has elements story-wise and production-wise, I think that really make it stand out from a lot of things I've seen. So, but, you know, teach their own.
Yeah, the problem for me is I never got invested in the characters. I never cared. So it just didn't draw me in. The visuals were, like you were saying, the visuals are excellent when they get to the certain elements of the forest and when they get to the windmill, the wooden windmill. Although I didn't realize it was a windmill until you said it. I just thought it was this weird house. Maybe I didn't pay attention.
Like they mention it. They literally say it
when they said
multiple times.
Yeah, when they say it's covered by some type of enchantment spell. They can't see it, and they kind of cross dimensions into it.
Well, the first shot when they look up and see it, it's got
a big windmill. Yeah, I'm like,
I wonder if I missed that because I did miss that. I missed that. I must not have looked at that.
And then, like the dude is like, well, what about the windmill? Literally.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So that got lost on me. But
and I love the Frankenstein reference. I thought the Frankenstein reference was great.
I thought. Yeah, because I think when they went in there and it's all about sort of like we're already in Spoilerville, but when it's all about the bringing people back to life and stuff, I was like, oh well, that's actually a kind of inventive way of having a little homage to it, you know. And I will say, I mean, I guess some of the war people were maybe kind of cookie cutter because you have like, oh, the guy who's pining for his wife back in the States, and which is fine, but I think that's what it's trying to lean into because it has that normal war story, but then when you add the supernatural element, that's when it gets more interesting. Although for me, I was invested in the Jackson Rathbone character, the guy who we didn't know anything
Jasper,
about,
right? From
and
Twilight?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I've never seen Twilight movies.
But I did, yeah. So I never got into him. I found him. Maybe it was because I'll be honest. I might have been biased because I wanted more from the Robert Knepper character, and
I wish he would have.
You know what, Doc? I think that
He's
you
such an
watched
asshole.
this in the wrong mood or wasn't paying enough attention.
yeah.
Are you watching Angry again, Doc?
Yeah,
I'm watching.
Stop watching
I
Angry.
think this was something that you would, because Robert, he starts off slower, but he totally goes.
He goes
Bonkers.
bonkers by the end
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually, there's a scene right after he kills the pig.
The pig.
Oh,
and
wow,
he's got blood all over him, and he's like so proud of himself, and it's a little loony and crazy, and I'm shocked that you didn't like this.
well, yeah. I mean, there's so many scenes in this that go places I wasn't expecting. Like I kind of knew, like when he killed that pig, I was like, that's not a pig, because we see the guy like kind of transform, and I'm like, but then when they showed it, I was like, oh man, that's so wrong. I was like, because I expected, what we're gonna see when this, because he talked about the illusion stuff. So I don't know. I just loved. I don't know. There's some of the stuff I was pleasantly surprised by it. I don't know. I just went into this thinking it was going to be a whole lot lower level.
Yeah, I think Dave's right. I watched it angry.
I also think, like, I don't know that. I know you said you didn't really care about the characters, and to be honest with you, I didn't either. Okay, but I didn't feel like I needed to enjoy the movie. Yeah,
Well, I felt that was
because
so
you got your
missing from it.
'70s ending that you like so much.
Did get that, yeah.
Okay,
and I
and
got
so,
a 70s
like-
character with Mickey Rourke.
But the character that I cared about was the mystery of what the story was about, and why the Jackson Rathbone, why his character, what was behind him, and then also just what was behind this whole witch thing, like what was behind all this stuff. And for me, it just got more interesting as we started peeling away the layers, and we got to see these, because I was like, oh, what are these? Are these witches? Are they vampires? Are they weird supernatural things? I don't know what's going on here. And
I didn't feel that was strong enough, but I think you guys are convincing me I need to watch this again.
I mean, they had a redhead, so therefore they win in my
There you
book.
go. Well,
Period.
I'll
There
give
you
you
go.
that. I'll give you that.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and
Christopher's face.
we'll get let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts. Our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. Christopher G. Mohr, sir, you are up first.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this film. I did not, and maybe it's because I had low expectations going into it. I didn't really know anything about it. And I will say in the very beginning, I was a little bit worried when we start seeing that sort of a 90s CGI. I expected The Rock as the Scorpion King to pop out.
No,
in his mad
stop!
CGI face. But once it got into the story and these sort of witches start chanting and slitting people's throats and pouring their blood into things and doing all these weird things, it just got more and more interesting as it went along. And then once you get into sort of, because granted, you're not going to do much with like the woods, but once it gets to the more like production design elements, like the windmill, inside the windmill, there's even like a book. It's almost like the Book of the Dead, but it's more of a witch book. There's so many things story-wise that became more interesting. The tree and all these things that visually I thought were just really, I thought were just something I would not expect any on this level of indie film. So I give them major props for that. And I think, again, I can understand getting a name in your film, but Mickey Rourke just felt like, it felt like somebody stuck their I don't know, their G.I. Joe figure in the Star Wars collection. It just felt like totally out of the box, because he was such a wacky character. It just felt like this mismatch of clothing items. But I just know he's like, this is what I'm wearing. This is my character. This is how I see my character. And he just talked all dramatic about everything back in the war when I did this. Ding ding, and his little shiny eye. So I don't know. I really again, I'm kind of giddy about this.
Yep.
And I don't know why. I just, but I think again those two visual scenes that happened in it, I was aghast because I was not expecting that level of just professional filmmaking, you know, on a A+ level in those two segments. So, so if I were to give it a rating, I'll give it a 4.25. I really,
You did love it. Wow.
I love this film. You might have not have been invested, Doc, but I was invested. I think once the story sort of kickstarted, and I was just wanting to know more about what this whole story's about, the supernatural angle, and then when it hit on these, you know, some of the gore effects and you know, the human spit or even or is a spit, is it pig? I don't know the phrase.
Yeah, it's a spit. It's a spit. Yeah.
Rotisserie, the human rotisserie.
Yeah, basically what would have happened in Return of the Jedi if Han Solo had been burned up.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so I
the deleted scene from Return of the Jedi.
I enjoyed this. I would buy the if it ever comes out on Blu-ray or something, I'd buy it just for the special features. Hopefully they'll get some behind the scenes with Mickey Rourke.
Oh god, that would be awesome.
This is how I felt my character was, a G.I. Joe reject. So as for favorite scene, I'm gonna go with this may be a cheat, but I'm gonna go with 2 small frames of the movie that I mentioned earlier.
Oh wow, 2 small frames.
So I'll say the when they set fire to the tree and this whole blood thing washes around it. I thought that was one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a horror movie in a very long time. And then also the scene where he's walking out of the windmill on fire. And you have those little doorways and windows that are on fire. Yeah. Just the way everything is lit and framed, I thought was as gorgeous as a thing you'd see in a museum. I thought those specific things I was so amazed by and so loved so much. It just made the film better just because of those specific scenes. So it's kind of a cheat, 2 different ones, but I just visually the cinematography in those I think were just on, pardon the pun, on fire and what they're trying to sell.
It's hot. All right, Crystal, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, your favorite scene.
Okay, so I feel the same way as Christopher. I did go in with incredibly low expectations. So, like, I was like, and then as I started watching the beginning, just it was the story as well that enticed me. I just wanted to know what the heck were these ladies about, what they were doing. And it's not that they were just witches just being evil and killing people. They had a purpose, and I just really thought it was done well. I mean, it gave us enough of a backstory and enough of it to I dig it. I mean, it's something that I haven't seen done before in this manner. So I am going to give it a 4.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. I'm going to be embarrassed.
This is why I think Doc. I think if Doc watches it again, though, I think he's really going to like it because I just think that this is kind of like totally your jam would be, but
no, we can't bully him into thinking it's better.
I like it. I was gonna be like, I can bully all right.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna say, obviously, I want to take the spit. I love that one, but that's so obvious.
Don't do it.
I'm not. I'm gonna take the La Bomba wedding vows. I really it kind of messed me up actually.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, that's and just the way it went. I don't know why it struck me so. Yikes, that's so effed up. I don't know why. It's weird,
Nice.
but it's something so simple.
Simple. Dave, sir. Your final thoughts. Your score. Your favorite thing.
Final thoughts.
Don't take mine. Don't take mine. It's been mentioned. Don't take it.
This whole run of films we've had in the last couple of years with this like World War II based horror has been actually kind of fun, and I think this fits in really nicely with going all the way back to Frankenstein's Army and
Frankenstein's Army.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What was that one with the lady in the bomber with the little monster outside?
Yeah,
Cloud in the Sky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
love
But anyway, they all
that
kind of, and I think this fits nicely in with all those. I really kind of dug this a lot. I'm glad I didn't let my first impression upon falling asleep halfway through it keep me from going back to finish watching it, because it really is a very well done movie. What Christopher and Crystal said, 100% true, and I don't really think there's too much more I can add to it. I'm going to give it a 3.75. Favorite scene, I really loved the scene where our squad realizes that they are completely fucked when our Robert Nepper character starts losing his mind, and he's just it's outside. They're out there with the tents and everything. It's just beautifully shot, and you can tell that he's just not all there. He's staring off into the distance, and then he thinks he's talking to somebody on the radio, and it's just static.
Yeah.
And they all start arguing amongst one another because the one guy is like, no, the sergeant's
Don't you
always
hear
right.
it?
Yep, the sergeant hears it. The sergeant hears it. I hear it.
I hear it. Right. And that whole scene was just really, really well done, and you realize then that something's seriously wrong. And I just really, and then really it takes off rapid fire from there, and it don't stop until it stops after that point. So that would be my favorite scene.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm going to keep it short and simple. The motto of my viewing experience is: don't watch the films angry.
Don't watch angry.
Don't watch films angry. I just, like I said, I didn't connect, but I think you guys are absolutely right. I do need to give this one another shot. And now that I know what it is, I think I go in with maybe the right expectation, the right frame of mind, less anger, and enjoy it. But as I with the experience that I had with it this week, it's a 2.5.
Holy! Oh my God!
So
Wait! Just based on the film, oh my God!
So
my God! The filmmaking alone, it's so pretty.
I know. So I definitely, given your reaction, I definitely feel like I need to get back.
Don't be bullied by her. Don't be bullied by her.
Don't. But I'm just surprised.
Sometimes I realize, maybe I didn't, really get into it. But my favorite scene was, they come back, they get a pig, and they're all eating the pig.
Oh yeah.
And then they look some barbecue.
And they look over, and on the we call it the spittle, the thing spinning around, it's not a pig, and they all. It's like, oh my God,
tastes like chicken.
That was the highlight of the film for me. Over everything else you guys are saying, except maybe Mickey Rourke's special effects. But I really did enjoy that scene.
Especially when the leader's eating that big rib.
Oh, I know.
And when you're like, oh, he's eating a big human rib.
Enjoying it too. Oh my God.
He's like, that's a good pig.
So
pig.
I guess
I'm so glad we got a visual of it too.
Yeah. Yes, that really made it work when they, it's all bent up on the thing. But I definitely need to give it a second chance and go back. I guess that's in my next week. I guess I'll have to do that. So there you go. There you go. That's our review for WARHUNT. It will be streaming soon on it's streaming at their VOD. Okay. Yeah, I have to pull up the card again because I've totally lost it. But it is in theaters and VOD and digital January 21st, 2022.
Yay!
Yeah, go check it out. Please check it out. It's definitely worth a watch. Don't listen to
don't listen to me. Let us know what you think down below.
Or maybe you will agree with Doc. Maybe you'll be angry watching it. And like, Hulk smash movie.
Hulk smash. Hulk smash. All right, Dave, Crystal, and Crystal Mohr. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's a lot of fun.
I'll be on stage next week at local entertainment center.
Ah! Oh my god. I could just go places with that. That's hilarious.
Me too. I can see it
already.
already.
I gotta reel it back in.
So
we have to go to bed after this. We do not want that visual in our life.
Or do you?
Oh no.
Or
see?
do I?
See?
Or do I? Do
Hunky
you like
boy.
boys?
Hunky boy.
Oh, Psycho Gorman.
It all goes back to Psycho Gorman.
yeah.
All roads lead to Psycho Gorman.
Oh my.
You don't like hunky filmmakers, or do you?
Or do you? All right. Let's get out of here. Let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.